But there's a lot of actually underlying mindset. What kind of communicator are they? How do people see them? I truly believe that the world is under lockdown right now. Countries' borders are closed and all that. Yeah, everything is under lockdown. But I believe that our children's progress should not be under lockdown. Let's join in their world and speak their language. I think that we're able to learn much more than we expected. Young people nowadays will really need to learn to be resilient, know how to take a hit. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take a hit. That is what makes people successful. And I came to a point I realized that this quote is either immense pain or immense pleasure that will create change.
Excited? Wanting to know more how to become a much more confident speaker? Stay tuned for today's episode.
So what's up everyone? I'm Brian Chan here and I'm your host for today for the Banana Talk Show. And today I'm not working things alone. There is someone else that will be doing things with me, which is none other than KY Chu, my co-host for today. Can you say hi to everyone, KY?
Hi everyone, I'm KY Chu. I'm one of the co-hosts. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much, KY, for introducing yourself. Today it has been a wonderful day because we will be talking about some very, very interesting content. Have any of you actually have the fear on doing something? Something like a fear of public speaking, or a fear of like someone else seeing you differently, or the fear of like people criticizing you, or the fear of like afraid of speaking in front of the public. All these things are fear to a lot of people. But today we have this very special gentleman that he will be able to help us to avoid our fear in public speaking. So without further ado, I would like to invite to our guest for today's episode, which happens to be Wicked.
Hello guys, so glad to be here, Brian and also KY.
Oh, by the way, Wicked, do you think that you have been missing out something? Because in our show, we will always bring something in. Yes. Definitely, you have to bring that out. Yes. That represents that you are in the right show. So, Wicked, because for KY and I, we already know you quite well, and we know you for like almost around like 3 years. And I will just have to be honest with you, because KY Wicked as well as I am, we joined, which is a non-profit organization which called the Toastmaster International. And in Toastmaster itself, right, we do learn a lot about public speaking and leadership. And in those kind of platforms, Wicked happens to be that person that has inspired me, makes me continue to pursue my Toastmaster. So does it do the same to you, KY?
Wicked, he's a person with great courtesy, very gentleman and very insightful as well. But most importantly is his captivating, sexy voice that always captures our audience. Wow, I was always inspired whenever he was speaking.
Yeah, having a sexy voice as always, right? That's why now today we have this gentleman, Wicked. Do you mind to introduce yourself to the audience who doesn't know you that much?
Hi everyone, thank you for the wonderful introductions. My voice is not as sexy as Brian, yeah, and KY can certainly speak better than me anyways. So my name is Wicked. I'm the founder of SpeakersValley. So SpeakersValley is an academy that trains children and teenagers on public speaking. So we want to train our future generation to be a better thinker, communicator, as well as leader. I'm also a member of Toastmasters. I've won several national level awards, so which I've gained so much from Toastmasters. So right now I'm so excited on what we're going to talk about for today as well.
Do know that you do have another business as well, which happens to be SpeakersValley. In SpeakersValley itself, right? Do you mind telling us is that how many partners are there working alongside with you in SpeakersValley, and what kind of like the competitive advantage that you provide and the services that you're providing for your customers right now?
You see, thank you for that. All right, super passionate about SpeakersValley. All right, so partners, so far our team, we actually have it's a rather small team. We have around three trainers as well as one person helping out in the marketing team. So what is the competitive edge? How are we different from other public speaking academy? We heard other public speaking academy out there. So the one thing that is different is that we truly believe that a good public speaking starts from good private thinking. I'm not sure if you guys agree or not. So how do we speak is actually based on how do we think. A lot of times when parents send their children to public speaking trainings, they're learning on the gestures, they're learning on how do they use their voice, just that. All right. But there's a lot of actually underlying mindset that needs the students to get it right. So the way we are doing it is that not only we are looking at the what do you call the way they present it, the deliver, we are also looking at their content and the way they think. Okay, what kind of communicator are they? How do people see them? So in our classes, we do this kind of reflection. When was the time when you weren't so good at something, but you got better today? So that is also one of the things that we are doing differently. We focus a lot on getting them to think, to discuss, because again, a good speaker must be a good thinker. Yeah. So right now, during this MCO, we are so grateful that a lot of parents are putting a lot of trust with us. We just graduated 2 batches of children last weekend, children and teenagers, and most of them are continuing with us next year. So I truly believe that the world is under lockdown right now. Countries' borders are closed and all that. Yeah, everything is under lockdown. But I believe that our children's progress should not be under lockdown.
Yeah, wicked. Adolescents tend to shut themselves off from others and they don't want to talk to anyone about themselves. So, Wicked, let me ask you, how did you get them to talk to you, interact with you, and willing to share about their deepest thoughts in their mind?
So teenagers, they are at the age which is in between childhood and adulthood. So it is actually they're in that awkward transition time where they're actually still unsure about a lot of things. They are still exploring a lot of things. So how do we actually get closer to them? Sometimes I would have to speak their language. Yeah. For example, some of the games that I play, I will actually use it as a starting point of our conversation. Or maybe some of the trend in TikTok. Okay, some of my students love TikTok. So I started the conversation with them. Hey, what is it? Then let them talk to me. Then I learn from them. So how I see them, I never see teenagers as a kid. Yeah, I never call them kid or all that. So I treat them with respect. When I'm asking them about TikTok, I truly want to learn from them. I'm truly interested about their world. So this is how they started to, hey, this teacher sounds like he really wants to know more. So they start sharing with me what kind of game they play, what kind of TikTok they watch and all that, what kind of term that they're using. Yeah, and so it takes time to build that trust and relationship. So I think that as an adult or as an educator, we shouldn't put that barricade around us. It's like, I'm a teacher, you're a student, you listen. But let's join in their world and speak their language. I think that we're able to learn much more than we expected.
Yes, join in the world and speaks in their language. I'm just wondering, how are you actually happens to be able to speak the same language like them? Maybe you can just tell us some games that you have been playing with them. Maybe like you play along some TikTok videos with them or something like that. Or you have been playing certain very interesting games that you'll be willing to share with a lot of our larger audience.
Okay. There's actually not much. One of the very recent games is Among Us. I'm not sure if you played it, imposter and all that. So they actually, at one point, they were very into it. So I know that they're into it. I myself, I downloaded it and played because they asked me, hey, trainer, let's play lah. Okay, I said, okay, let's download and play lah. So I downloaded the game and all that. Other than that, I also check out a lot of memes. Yeah, memes online. They love memes. They always talk about memes and all that, the joke. So I was able to get their joke. I'm able to speak their joke as well. So there's this kind of connection. So I'm actually quite, constantly getting myself updated on social media as well, so that to speak their language.
Oh, you're getting yourself very updated in social media itself, huh? So do you yourself actually play TikTok right now?
No, no, I don't play TikTok, but I
Then
watch
how
my
you stay
students.
then how you stay connected with all your teenagers, with all your students, isn't it? You don't speak
Uh,
language if you don't play. Yeah.
I know what is it. Yeah, and I know there are some trends that are on TikTok. Yeah, I don't have to play it to know it, but some TikToks are being linked to Facebook. That is also available in Facebook. Sometimes when you scan it. Yeah. So my sister play it. My sister play it TikTok. So I get info from her. What is the latest thing right now? Yeah. So
Uh,
that's how I keep it.
the trend. I'm trying to be trendy myself. So hopefully one day I will be able to communicate the same language just with like the teenagers themselves. So
Yeah.
sometimes, right, when you are dealing with teenagers, I think we'll be having a lot of headaches in you, right? Do you mind telling us is that as compared to you, like 10 years ago or like 15 years ago when you were a teenager yourself, okay? So you can compare back to those time as compared to now the teenager that you're dealing with. What are the difference between like both generation?
Wow. Wow. This is a very interesting question. I would say that teenagers today is very smart, very intelligent. They are very updated. Whatever you teach them, maybe they have seen it on the internet before. So they have a lot of information already. So back then during our time, I'm not sure about you, during our time, your teacher is the thought, when teacher say something, we listen, we don't question. Right now, when a teacher speaks something, an idea, the students may sometimes challenge your idea as well. They may actually, hey, I don't think so. I disagree with your thought or point of view. I think KY may have some experience on that. Yeah. So I think that as an educator today, first thing first, you have to be very knowledgeable. Second thing, you need to have an open mindset. I think as an educator, we shouldn't let our ego to make us defensive when the student's challenging us, but instead we can make it an open discussion. Feel vulnerable, feeling safe to accept other opinions, because that is how we train our next generation to think, not just to be a good listener.
Mm. Yeah, I do heard is that you have to stay vulnerable in some way, but somehow is that the teenagers these days they are very much sensitive. How I would put it in is that they are very easily been bullied in online and things like that. All of a sudden is that they will start complaining, "Hey mom, you see somebody have been bullying me online." So but no one is defending them. How are you going to be dealing with this kind of teenagers, or do you have your own ways on like dealing with them?
Okay. Yeah, so in a way, teenagers, some of them are vulnerable, but not all of them are complainer. I would say a lot of them are actually very smart. Their political knowledge is actually much better than me. They have their own opinion and all that. But there are certain teenagers who need extra attention. For example, some people who had some trauma before of speaking. So right now they just don't like to speak because of that trauma. So it requires a lot of time for a lot of affirmation from educators. Like one thing I always do is I always remind those students who are very shy, I always remind them their achievement. Hey, did you know that today you just improved yourself by 5%? Hey, did you know you improve again and again? So keep finding evidence to them that, hey, if you work hard on something, you can improve it. Yeah. So that is how we call it the growth mindset, to develop their growth mindset. Giving them the encouragement. Don't shoot them down, but challenge them, as well as keep encouraging them. I think that is how we can deal with can build confidence on teenagers.
I see. I'm not sure if you have dealing with this before, because for me personally, while I was younger, I don't even know what I want to do. Is that I would rather sleep than I would want to do any other things. I would rather play games, sleep, and I would rather eat, doing all this kind of stuff. How would you encourage them to like, okay, get yourself more involved in the society, get yourself more involved in like different types of like clubs, get yourself more involved like something like public speaking? How do you convince all these kind of people? Because it seems like a lot of them don't really know what they want.
You're right. Teenagers nowadays are still the same. I think it's normal because when we are teenagers, we are still exploring, like what I say. So a lot of teenagers still don't know what they want in the future. If you ask them, what is your ambition? I don't know. Okay, but it's okay. It's totally fine. So which is why it is okay for us to explore with them. So one of the things we do in our syllabus, in our level 1, okay, we call it the North Stars, our program, the North Stars, where we guide them to explore about themselves. For example, explore about their interests, explore about their passion when they were young, explore about how do they deal with fear, explore about their growth mindset, what is their limiting belief. So a lot of self-exploration. So from there, they can start to piece the puzzle together. Like, hey, I'm actually quite interested in this. I'm actually quite interested in that. All right. And other than that, this is in the syllabus. And other than that, yes, you are right. Teenagers sometimes, adults, we have motivation to learn public speaking because we want to improve in our career. For teenagers, when they come into a class, they're looking at whether the class is fun or not. Yeah. So we have to make a confidence building journey fun. It's not a lecture. Yeah. When it's fun, then they will enjoy it and their confidence get built up without them even knowing it. Yeah. So that is how SpeakersValley believe in.
I see. So for a lot of students out there, you are trying, like what you say, your level 1 is to let them find the North Star. But I do know some people here, right, who don't really know what is their North Star. Maybe our co-host could explain more about it. Our co-host don't really know what is his North Star and what he will need to do right after he graduated.
Well, for my case, I studied theoretical physics, which is too general for the markets as well as the society. I generally know about most fields in engineering, but I'm not really specializing in any of it. So maybe in this case, Wiki, can you share with our larger audience how can one seek for our own North Star?
Thanks for that question. So that is a question that is very close to my heart because before SpeakersValley, I was actually quite lost. I wasn't sure, like, hey, whether this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, or is it going to be my lifelong career and all that. So what are the things that really changed me to give me that North Star is the moment when I had a coach. Yeah, when I have a coach who are able to ask me a lot of questions, to dive deep. So one of the things my coach did was running through my life journey, my encounter when I was young until today. And he was trying to find some of the similarities. Every decision that I made, what was I looking for? What kind of feeling that I was looking for? So I think one of the questions for people who wish to get more clarity is to ask yourself, when was the last time when I felt fulfillment? Yeah. So when you ask these questions, maybe it can bring you back into a time where, hey, when I was young, when I helped this person, I kind of feel the fulfillment. Yeah. Or sometimes when in Toastmasters, you also found your fulfillment there. So and slowly it will actually lead you one what you call realization into another and get to where you want to be. SpeakersValley started, okay? It was because I realized that I actually value significance. Yeah, I wish to do something that makes a difference in other people's life. I always do that from young until when I was old. I always look for significance. I always do that. Whatever that I do, I always look for significance. Then came to my point, I asked myself, what am the things that I'm doing right now, does it give me significance? If no, what should I do next? Yeah, so that is my turning point, I would say. So I think that KY, don't be afraid, don't be nervous. I think that take your time, explore, journal down your thoughts and feelings, experience more things, and without you knowing it, you might actually find you can find your North Star.
Having fulfillment, huh? Because to me personally, I had my fulfillment while I was very young, 13 years old, where I'd be able to stand in front of my relatives singing like a high school musical song. Then after I sing that song already, I feel so fulfilled. But end up when I grow older, I felt like my voice sucks. I can't sing well. But that I'm not good in doing it. So how am I going to be feeling fulfilled by being not good in something? This, I found it very confusing. Yeah,
very interesting, Brian. Okay, it's not what you do, it's what the feeling that gives you. Okay, for example, you sing High School Musical in front of your parents, right? you are feeling the fulfillment, like, hey, I am gaining attention, people listening to me. So that is the fulfillment that you get, right? So maybe when you grow older, you join Toastmasters. You like Toastmasters because, hey, you get fulfillment when people listen to you, when people buy into your speech. And even you are a salesperson, when people really listen to you, convinced by you and buy your product. So it's not really about what we do, it's about what kind of feeling that we are looking for, we are searching for. So the fulfillment coming from singing, maybe coming from public speaking, maybe even coming from drama, yeah. So it is the feeling that matters, the fulfillment that matters.
Now that you tell me about fulfillment and the feeling about it, it brings me back even more memories while I was younger. When I start playing basketball, I start to score some points, then the girls was cheering for me. But that doesn't really mean that I would need to become a basketball player myself, right? I'm not that tall myself. I don't have the physics of the Western guy. But that really doesn't make me feel like I'd be able to achieve that. Even I got that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Again, Brian, it's not what you do. It's what that feeling gives to you. When you are able to shoot the basketball, some girls cheer for you, and you get the feeling of you're being admired. Yeah. Perhaps it is the feeling of admiration that you are looking for. Yeah. So maybe you can get it from basketball. Maybe you can getting it from public speaking. Yeah. But I know now that you have someone admiring you. So I think you are quite fulfilled right now as a person.
Okay, we will leave them right after the show. Yeah, this will be talking behind. One issue that I'm really having right now, because I have been seeing a lot of younger people when it comes to the society right now, when people are starting to hiring them, somehow they are unable to take the hit, or they are not getting used to how the bosses start to criticize them. It's not like in Toastmaster, do you know that? In Toastmaster, when you do something wrong, it's okay. I give you a round of applause. Just continue, and I will encourage you to do a better speech in the future. But when you are in the real society itself, you must face the freaking reality, where every single thing will just punch you without you knowing it. So maybe you can just give some advice to some of the teenagers out there before they even start going to the university, or start even have their very first career starting work. Maybe you can give them a little advice before they start to step into the society.
All right. Thanks for that question. So I'll speak on behalf of two sides of the coin. So first off, I agree with you that young people nowadays will really need to learn to be resilient, know how to take it's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take a hit. That is what makes people successful, right? So I really believe that when they are in university, or when they're in secondary school, so I think that they should actually start going out to join more extracurricular activities. The reason is, when you start to join extracurricular activities, it requires more than just one person. When there's more than one person, there tend to be conflict. When there's conflict, you need to solve that conflict. So before they go into the workforce, it would be really great that if they can get some experience beforehand on how to deal with people, so that when they go into the workforce, they can hit the ground running. But I also want to be fair to the teenagers nowadays. Okay, we are in this world right now. We are spoiled with choices. Yeah, if I don't like this company, go apply to the next company lah. Not like our parents. The job is very important. No matter how bad the boss is, we have to bite the bullet. So right now, I really think that for the bosses, or as well as management, the way that treat young people should actually use a different approach. Instead of you say, I listen, but more on a democratic thing, letting them feel that they're being respected, letting them feel that they have the ability to have a say in something, not to micromanage them too much. So it totally requires a new way of managing these young people, I would say. So yeah, speaking for the both sides, I've been trying to push a lot of young people to do things which I think is good for them, but they don't see it. And I came to a point I realized that this quote, it's either immense pain or immense pleasure that will create change. Yeah. Sometimes, their life has been okay, no big deal. Yeah, has been a good cycle and all that, has been kind to them. So they don't see the need to change. But you see a lot of people when they join Toastmasters, they join it because there was a tipping point. Yeah, some people like I had a presentation and I ruined it. So I really want to fix this. Yeah, I was not getting promoted after so long. I want to change this. So sometimes we can encourage as much as we can, but it is also sometimes really require that person to bang that wall. Then they realize that, hey, I need to change. So I would say a balance of both worlds.
Exactly. Because sometimes, right, we do know your achievement when it comes to in Toastmaster itself. When it comes to Toastmaster, we do know that you are a podium winner, a district winner for the Toastmaster International. So do you mind to tell us a little bit some of your tips on how you get to prepare for a contest? Maybe it could be your evaluation contest or even in your speech contest. Yeah, maybe you can just give some idea on how you actually get yourself prepared on all these things before you even start stepping into the contest.
All right, thank you. Yeah, this year I have a different perspective towards public speaking, because previously the way I see public speaking is like I think it's a skill, it's a technique. So as you can see my previous speeches, I was very rehearsed. Again, I know when to do this punchline, when to do that. So this year I had a new realization. Yeah, I actually heard a saying that goes like this: a good speech is merely a life well lived. Yeah, a good speech is merely a life well lived. So it's actually not so much on the technique, it's about how you live your life, what kind of realization that you gain. If you don't understand anything from what happened in your life, probably you can't give a good speech because of that. So that is when I started to reflect a lot. I do journaling, I do meditations recently, and also I realized that the key towards good speech is like to be authentic. When you have nothing to hide, when you have nothing to protect, when you're just you yourself, sharing that story with the intention to inspire others. And I think that is the kind of speeches that truly touches people. So nowadays, when I prepare for speeches, I no longer focus so much on the techniques. I focus on my realization from that incident, the story. Yeah, what did I learn from there? Yeah, and what can people learn when they hear this speech? So that is how I would approach speeches from now on.
Very interesting. Authenticity as well as originality of the speech itself. But here is some of my concern, because in Toastmaster itself, we have a lot of people saying something like that. We fake it until we make it. Some speeches itself, right, I don't really think that is the original story from themselves, but somehow they still be able to good enough for them to win a certain contest. But that doesn't really comes from their heart. It might not be original at the same time. What is your feedback on that?
All right. By the way, I gave a speech about fake it till you make it. It's a humorous speech, and in I think 2 years ago district contest. All right. So I think it's totally up to the speakers. I think that they have the right to actually modify their stories to make it, to help to deliver the message better, because not all stories are created equal. So maybe it requires some modification. But again, it's not what happened. It's not what you do. It's the feeling that you're giving. So as long as you it fits into the intention of your speech, I think that should suffice. That should do the job. So it doesn't really matter for me.
Yes, I see. So for the benefit of the audience out here, we're talking so much about Toastmaster itself, because Toastmaster, we really emphasize a lot about public speaking as well as leadership. And for Wicked, he has all kinds of experience in different kinds of contests, and he has been winning a lot of contests in some ways that even makes like people like me and KY envy all the time. That's the reason today we are trying to get as much tips as possible. Don't you think those tips is useful today, KY?
Yeah, I definitely benefited from that. Those things that Wicked shared just now are all very experience-based. And we all already know that Wicked has been a very proficient speaker for a long, long time. Those realizations don't come just like a magic. It doesn't come like this. It was based on a lot of trial and errors and experience throughout his life. So thank you so much, Wicked, for enlightening us with your realization so that we can learn so much more and improve ourselves.
Yeah. Wiki, we do know that you do actually have won some titles, you achieved certain stuff in Toastmaster International. Do you think that those titles or credentials that you had currently has somehow changes you in some ways in your life right now or in your career?
They're very good questions. I think yes, because those awards in Toastmasters actually serve as an evidence for me, serve as a reminder for me to not forget about speaking. Yeah, at one point I was very busy in work, and I kind of forgot my passion in speaking. I kind of take Toastmasters as a chore, okay, it's another meeting, evaluations. But these kind of awards actually, it serves as a reminder to me about every time when I look at a trophy, it reminds me of what my love towards speaking, my love towards inspiring, and my value, which is significance. So it also helps me to build my confidence. It's like, hey, Wicked, if you work hard, you can achieve it. Yeah.
I see. Do you mind sharing us as well what you have gained the most when it comes to joining Toastmaster International?
Right. First thing first is definitely the speaking skills. Is how do I structure my thoughts? Yeah, ideas. You may have really, really good ideas, but if you can't package it or structure it in a very interesting way, it is equal to none. So that is the one really big thing that I've learned. The second thing is keeping down my ego. So before I joined Toastmasters, I would say I have certain amount of ego in me. I feel that, hey, I can actually speak okay, yeah, so I can just run with it. But when in Toastmasters, there's a lot of opportunity for you to speak. So and from those opportunities, you started to realize that, hey, there's a lot more things I need to learn. I need to learn more. So that actually helps me to put down my ego, to start to learn like a beginner again. Yeah. And finally, the third thing is connection, network. Without Toastmasters, I can't know two amazing friends like you, Brian and KY. My other half, okay? I can't know a lot of people.
That is what I'm afraid you're not mentioning.
Yeah. Yes. So 3 things I'm really thankful to Toastmasters.
An eye-opening experience for me as well, being able to have the privilege to get Wicked as one of the guests in this episode as well. In this episode, we also get to learn so much more about how to treat the adolescents, on how are we supposed to spend time with all the teenagers, and what are the ways that we are being able to start to teach them how they can find their North Star and how to encourage them to improve in their public speaking. I believe all these things that you can find, definitely it will be in SpeakersValley. Yeah. So Wicked, here is my last question for you. And for what kind of impact would you want to make for the world?
Nice. Okay. This is something very, very, very close to my heart as well. When I was in university, I always think that I want to be the next Mark Zuckerberg. I want to be the next Steve Jobs. Yeah. I want to change the world. Yeah. I want to change the world, make some change. Start some really sexy business and all that. But at some point in my time, I realized that one of the best way to change the world is to start by helping others. Yeah, which is when I'm actually able to build the confidence in the teenagers and our students. Yeah, I'm actually in a way I'm changing the world. Yeah, I'm actually making one more teenagers believe in themselves again. So I guess that is my way moving forward. The impact that I want to bring to the world is I want to change the world one child at a time or one teenager at a time. Yeah, and I want to raise. I want to raise, or not to say raise, or to educate our generation of teenagers to empower them to be a really better thinker, better communicator, and better leader. And I want them to make them believe in themselves again, so that they can achieve whatever that they want to achieve in the future. That is what I want to achieve for myself.
I see. All right, very interesting. So how are we supposed to find you?
Oh, okay, great. So you can visit us from our website, which is www.speakers-valley.com, or you can go to our Facebook, Speakers with an S, Valley. Yeah, so you can find us there. There are a lot of information on our courses and our trainers as well. And you can book some of our free trial courses or free preview courses. Yeah, so it's going to be very, very exciting program. And I truly believe that it will be a transformation program for your child.
Yes, thank you so much for today's Wikid for coming to our channel. Yeah, it has been.
Yay.
Yes, I hope that you enjoy it yourself, Wikid.
Yes. All right.
Thank you so much. And hopefully you will be able to check more about our videos about Banana Talk Show, and you will be able to get to learn more about the public speaking, some of the things that you can learn, and how are the teenagers going to be enduring their fear in learning more about public speaking. And do check out in the description box for SpeakersValley. Stay tuned for the next episode for Banana Talk Show.
If you found that today's content is interesting for you, please do subscribe for our channel and do click on the notification box.